Hey guys, so I thought as a interesting thing to go along with me with this nifty special thing, I would do a little, I don't know how long this video will be. I will do a video saying what what my anime life has become. And that means I'm going to share certain aspects and give you guys more of an insight about what I'm watching at the moment, what I have been watching and have put on hold for a while for numerous reasons. Ones that I don't like at all, and I'll go into that, and a bit of an insight about what I am watching or what I want to watch. I keep saying watching. I really don't mean that. So, I'm not gonna do everything. I'm not gonna read everything because I have way too much. So I'm gonna, for certain lists, I will probably read all of them, but for some of them, I'm not. Just because it's a waste of your time. You don't want to be here that long unless you really want to know a question, and I'll answer that in a comment or so. So I'm gonna start with what I've been watching. So shows that currently have my interests, whether they are new or old, long or short. Short. And I'm gonna try and give you a basic summary, but not go into detail because, yeah. So I'm on my anime list, which is my favorite anime site, or actually making lists about what your whole life of anime on it, and also to find new ones. So I'm gonna start with the in kind of alphabetical order of what I'm doing. Anime Guitarist. So this show came out this year, in this season. It's currently airing, and it's basically about a girl who enters high school, Minoa, and she isn't really in a club, but she wants to be in a club. But she realizes this anime that she used to watch, but she doesn't know what it's called. So she tries to ask a classmate of hers. However, another classmate, basically, who is like the prissy, almost like fancy girl, like asks her to talk to her, and then completely find out she's a huge anime buff. And she drops all her personas, she's really crazy, and together they basically decide to start an anime club on campus. Right now, it caught my interest for the goofiness of it, but at first, I kind of was like, I don't know. I saw the opening and I was like, okay, we're gonna try it. And it ends up being too real to me, because the girl, not Manoa, not the new girl, but the girl, the fancy one, how she talks about anime is how I talk about anime. And I have had those moments, and I'm like, oh crap, this is really me. And it's not one that I would really necessarily say is going to be, from what I've seen so far, it's not going to be the most noticeable to people. It's going to kind of slide under the radar. However, when you find it, you're going to really like it. And they really pinpoint on certain tropes of anime where you have the different genres, to the different types of characters, to the 3-episode rule, which is absolutely true. You get to the 3rd episode, that's when you decide to watch it or not. So, I say give it a chance. See the opening, because basically the opening is how the show is going to be. It's really crazy, it's really fun, and it's totally not like a lot of other things on my list right now. So, let's move on. The next one came out last summer. Currently is getting a 2nd season, and It's basically called Days. And I can't somehow get a bigger image of it. So there you go. Days. It is my sports show right now. All about soccer. It's about a kid who is named Takushi and a kid named Jin. They end up becoming friends over soccer. And Jin is really the popular boy who knows how to play soccer, while Takushi doesn't know how to play it for shit. And Jin realizes how much his friend really likes soccer, and even being a novice, and then you have an amateur, they basically join their school's soccer team, and the series is about them going more into the world of soccer. It's a little bit different than how you see Kuroko no Basket or Haiku, where the art style is sharp and so are the actions, but it's more of a toned down, we're going to try to relate to you type sports show, and to make you have a lot of feelings instead of looking at the sport and saying, whoa, motherfucker, that was a really good game. This show tells you how it is when it comes to team building and a little more relationships, and while all being still really good to look at. It's the animation style in its own way, sharp, but it's not as pinpoint as other shows at the moment. I see it being kind of like Wamushi Pedal. So, if you like that show, you would like Days. The next one on my list basically came out in 1996, so to me it's very much a throwback. And it's still continuing. People are telling me I'm crazy for doing it, but I'm like, might as well. There's no time to not start it, and it is Detective Conan, or Case Closed. And for people who do, for some reason, do not know what this show is about, it is about Shinichi Kudo is a great detective mystery guy, but he's only 17. He can solve all these crimes, murders, robberies, yada yada yada. One day, while at a amusement park with his best friend, he gets attacked by two men in black. He gets fed a pill, and he gets turned back into an elementary school kid again. But his mind and thoughts are all the same. It's just his body. So, because when he wakes up and he doesn't really have a place to go, he ends up convincing his friend Ron, who is the girl he went with to the amusement park, to stay with him. Because he basically said, like, oh, I'm a relative of Shinichi, and I kind of need a place to stay, yada yada, I can't find him. She is like, sure, you can stay with me and my dad, who is also a detective, but he's shit. So, Kudo basically ends up being Conan Edogawa, and it's basically inspired by Arthur Conan Doyle and Ranpo Edogawa, and he ends up just helping out the girl's dad become a good detective while also solving murders and also trying to get back to normal. And basically, if you've never heard of this show and you're wondering why people have an issue with it, these are all the other stories and shows you can watch, and it goes on for miles. Miles, miles, miles. And it even inspired a spin-off for a whole another character that I haven't gotten to, but I know the character. So yeah, it's longer than One Piece, and that's a long show. Okay. Next is something a little bit out of my comfort zone, which is Hunter x Hunter. The 2011 version, not the 90s version. It's a great show about a 12-year-old Gon who wants to become a hunter. To become a hunter, you have to go through an exam. He wants to become a hunter to find his father. And basically the entire story ends, or starts there. He ends up befriending Leorio, Kurapika, and Killua. All people who also want to do the exam, and their adventures start there. Action-packed, very good, and a lot of people like it so far. And I'm like, yes, I love the show, but it's hard to get into. If you get into it, you binge it, but you take a break, you don't want to go back. It's like it's a feeling that you don't know, but you like it anyway, but you need to be in the mood for it. Yeah. So next I have a new contender of Juni Kaisen. I know the image is a little bit confusing. It's a brand new show this year, or this season. It's basically about the 12 zodiacs, Chinese zodiacs, coming together, a life or death battle, in order to get a wish. So you know the Fate series and also the Battle Royale. It's a combination of both. And also Fruits Baskets. So basically it's a show that you guys, if you like battles, blood, murder, and such, this is your show. This is why I like it. Perfect. And I love the outfits. It's a good twist because you don't know who the main character is. It's always switching, and also the death sequence, you can kind of catch on, but it's a little bit different now. So I would give it a shot. A weird contender. Love Kome, We Love Rice. And I'm on season 2, and it's basically about people who go to a rice academy to know how to grow rice and to be in the harvest festival, compete with other kind of food groups. So season 1 was rice versus bread. This, I think, is rice versus ramen. It's very weird, catchy, out of the blue, and you learn rice facts. Do it. It's really good if you like cooking. Next, we have probably the year favorite, or the season favorite, of My Ancient Magnus Bride. And I'm still debating about whether or not I want to continue it, only because fantasy isn't fully my thing, and just I don't know how I liked Fairy Tail, but I can't get in. But I'm having trouble with every other fantasy show. If you don't know, it's about a young girl who's 16 who does not really have a family. People really don't like her, and she's miserable. So she ends up kind of selling herself away to an auction, and she is bought by a mysterious mage, and he ends up telling her, yeah, I'm gonna make you my apprentice and my bride. And it's so cute because it's a relationship that seems odd at first, but they both really care about each other, and I don't really mind the romance. It's really nice, and the art is fantastic, the opening is fantastic. The thing is, it's about magic. I don't know fully how I feel about it, which is why I'm like, I don't know. Also, for that reason, I have Mushishi, a very popular show. it's very, to me, it's a very monotoned show. I do like all the yokai aspects of it. And the art, I think if it took place more of a modern time, it would be much better. And not the way that it is now. Next, I have the weird one, in my opinion, of Osake wa Fufu ni Nate Kara. And it's a bunch of short episodes about a couple, and the wife is kind of quiet, laid back. However, if she's drunk, she ends up being really cute and adorable, and her husband makes her all the drinks. You learn drinks, you get a cute romance, and they're very short. It's not a long series. And I love it. Oh my god, it's so cute. And some of the drinks I think I'm gonna try later on. Next is a very debatable one of Osama Game, the animation. People are not happy with how the show is turning out. If they know the material, it's a manga. But so far, for someone who doesn't know, I like this kind of show. This genre is my thing. The whole scenario is my thing. Danganronpa, my thing. So, for something like that, I'm excited to see how it ends and who the king is. Because it's basically, I almost forgot the summary, about a kid, Nobuki, who moves and transfers high schools. And he starts to get along with his classmates after being like zoned out or not wanting to deal with them or even be a part of everything they're doing. However, it starts after a class festival relay that he and his classmates receive an order from the king, and basically if they don't go with the orders of the king, they will die within a 24-hour period. And only Nobuki takes it seriously because he's been through it before. So the show is basically him telling everyone else how his game ended up while also trying to save everyone in his new class. So you get about if I remember correctly, almost 24 to 30 kids. But you get double that because you have the new class and the old class, and in that you have to basically try and remember who's a part of which one, who's already dead, who's gonna die, who's the villains, because I don't like the new villain in his new class. I don't like her. That's a whole nother thing. Once I know how the show ends, I'll probably do a huge rant. But for right now, I'm not going to do that. Then I am going with Shinraigari or Ghost Hound. And this is it's an older show than the other ones. It came out in 2007, and it's a fall 2007. And I'm watching it with other people, so it isn't something that I can do right away. I have to really wait. But there's a small town of Sutan, and it's basically three kids. Taro, Makoto, Masayuki, and they all have traumatic pasts. And I think because of something like that, they learn that their souls kind of go into two parallel worlds, so they can separate from their bodies and almost become an entity. And because of that, they have to unravel a huge mystery about why they can do it and all that. I haven't gotten into it that much. I've only seen 2 episodes. But it's something that it's really interesting if you like the mystery genre. And it's a show where you want to pay attention. You don't want to be exhausted. It's something that, in my opinion, watch it with someone else so you can talk about it with someone else. Now, I'm gonna go over to a list that I have. I'm not gonna do all of them because I'm already wasting a lot of time and I hate talking that much. So, I'm gonna list about 2 different shows. Both I have on hold. They're shows that I want to watch, but I haven't done because of just a certain reason. So, it's one of the shows that I'm probably the furthest in that I had put on hold was Mariah Nikki, or The Future Diary. I cannot fully understand why I stopped and I'm not going back to it. It's a show that I'm pretty sure everyone's heard of it before, but it's basically about people who get these diaries and they each can have a different power. And if you have to kill everyone else that has a diary, if you do, you get a special prize of being ruler of the world. I got really into it. It's my type of thing. But I think because of how old I was 14, 15 when I started, and back then I couldn't really get into a lot of certain shows that much. I put it on hold. I just didn't want to do it, and now I'm finding it hard to want to go back without having to rewatch everything that I did, which is something I don't want to do. Now, on a kind of separate spectrum of that, I have Sakamichi no Apollon, which is about a kid who transitions into the world of jazz because of someone he meets. And he ends up being a jazz musician of the piano, while his friend is a drummer. So basically, I stopped because I'm halfway through. Easy. 6 more episodes. However, I feel that it's really serious. It's something that I need to fully immerse myself in, because it's a show that hits me hard in some areas, and I don't know why. It just hits me like a bullet train, and it's a show that I'm slightly petrified of finishing because I don't know how it's gonna end. And it's exciting, but at the same time, I feel like it's something that I need to do it with. Like, someone else, please, do it with me, and we'll be fine. And we'll be perfect. However, for right now, it's on hold. It's not like they're not good anime. They're great, but I just have certain reasons why I don't do it. And it's not like just a nice, simple genre. I have like Ergo Proxy, which is a very complicated show. I have seasons that I'm holding off on, and it's complicated on why I won't continue a show. It's hard for me to actually say, I need to put it down. I'll go back to it later. However, for dropped shows, so I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm listing 2 shows and saying why I don't go back to them. And I'm gonna go with 3. Because these 3, in my opinion, are the hardest for me to basically go back to. Yuru Yuri, Familiar of Zero, Toradora. All shows that I have tried multiple times, cannot get into it, and somewhat the summary for Familiar of Zero, they just don't really stick well to me. And also some of the characters I can't get into, some of the different ways that the story is portrayed. And I know for Toradora, that's one that I've been trying to do, because it's such an iconic show in the world of romance and school and everything else that I like, and in that genre. But it's a show I can't get into. It's so hard for me to do it. However, there are a number of shows that I will not do for certain reasons, and I feel terrible because there are shows that I have started, like Kototora-san, that I've tried, gotten probably some of it, and I just couldn't continue it because episode 1 moved me. Holy shit, it moved me. But I just ended up being boring and exhausting, and I don't like it. Same thing with Blue Exorcist. I tried that. Couldn't get into the entire gist of it, and I realized I wasn't enjoying it. I was doing it for someone else, and that's why I only seen a third of the show, and that's it. Yeah, so hopefully from what you hear, what I've said, what I tried to talk about simply, that is how I do my anime. If you see it, if you heard a show that you like, let me know, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it and where to find it. But hopefully you can now get a better perspective of shows and genres that I like, and hopefully ones that you know I don't like. Mecha, for one, I don't like mecha, and it doesn't mean that it's a terrible genre, it's just not my thing. There are certain genres that don't go together, ones that I can't see going together, but in the end, it's all about interests and what you like, and I really hope from you guys, I can hear new shows that you think I should watch, and if I've already seen it, or if I'm going to, I will let you guys know in the comment after you say yours. So, for me and you, hopefully I will be seeing you guys way more, and hopefully you'll see way more of me. So, until next time, see ya.